Hello, good morning. How is everybody this morning? Well, I hope you all are doing great. So, today I am off work and I'm hungry and I'm getting ready to eat some breakfast. So, I wanted to do a real quick taste comparison between four of my favorite tomatoes. So, if you all have been watching me very long, you know that my favorite tomato of all time is the German Johnson. Before that, it was the big rainbow. So I'm constantly trying new tomatoes and constantly trying to find the best tomato in the world. So I have four different ones this morning that we're going to be trying out. So I have my current favorite, which is the German Johnson. I have another one that I know is going to be a close contender because I had a sandwich with it the other day, and it is called the Soldacki. I'm going to try that one. And then the vintage wine, which is also a delicious heirloom tomato. And one that is really a paste tomato, but the flavor is so delicious from this tomato that I thought I would put it in there too. So all of these tomatoes are great. All of them are heirlooms. One of them is a paste tomato. The others are just considered slicers, beefsteak varieties. So we're going to try all four of these. And of course, I always think I know the one that is going to be my favorite, but only the taste test will tell. So today I'm going to do the tomato taste test like I did the last time, and I'm not just going to taste the tomato itself with and without salt. Today I'm going to taste it without salt, with salt, and then I'm going to put a slice on some toast with mayonnaise because that's how I typically eat tomatoes, is tomato sandwiches. That's a big part of how I eat them anyway. So let's get this taste test going. I'm going to show you the tomatoes first. All right, you can see where I've wrote the names beside of the tomatoes. We've got the vintage wine at the top left, the German Johnson at the top right, the Jerusalem at the bottom left, and the Soldacki at the bottom right. So we're going to get some salt and pepper and get to slicing and get this taste test underway. So we're going to start with the vintage wine. This particular tomato is an heirloom. This one is also has some cat facing going on that's caused by multiple blooms that have come together and formed multiple tomatoes, and it's called cat facing. So let's slice this one first. This is the German Johnson. This is my current favorite tomato. It is also an heirloom. It's considered a slicer, just like the vintage wine. Next up, this one is an oxheart type tomato, and that's what the Jerusalem is. So you can see the shape of it is the shape of an oxheart. I guess that's why they call it that. But anyway, it's a paste tomato. Still delicious though. It's going to be considerably smaller. Might need a couple slices of this one. They are typically bigger than this, but the one that was ripe at the time that I was going to do this video was the smaller one, so that's the one I grabbed. And last but not least, this is the Soldacki, and this is also an heirloom tomato. And I have really been enjoying this tomato. This is the one that I really think is going to give the German Johnson a run for its money. And they actually look very similar in the way that they look and the coloring. And they do taste similar too. So I'm going to give it a whirl and see what it tastes like. Let's go ahead and cut them. Okay, hold on just a second. I want to do a real quick edit here before I go on. I just want to tell you where I even got the whole idea of doing a Soldacki tomato in my garden. So there's a channel that I watch called the Gardening Channel, and it is James Prigioni is the guy's name that does that channel. He is such a wealth of information. Now, I'm not affiliated with that channel at all. He does not even know me. I'm just trying to give you some good information. So anyway, I've watched him for about 3 years, and I've learned so much. And that's where I got the idea of doing the Soldacki tomato, because I was watching him one day and he really talked up this beautiful red tomato called a Soldacki, and he said, the whole reason I grow this is for tomato sandwiches. And when he said that, y'all know me, he had me when he said tomato sandwich. So I thought, I'm going to have to try to grow that. And so this was the first year that I have grown the Soldacki, and I am so glad that I did. So anyway, if you've never tuned into the gardening channel by James Prigioni, you can do that. If I don't forget, I'll put a link in the description below. If I do forget, you can always look him up. But he's a step above a home gardener, I suppose you could say. He calls what he has a food forest. He doesn't really even call it a garden. So if you just tune in, you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. So I hope you all enjoy his channel. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to try is, I'm just going to go from left to right, just like you would read a book. So I'm going to try the vintage wine first. And here's what that looks like. Looks delicious, doesn't it? Delicious. It has that classic tomato taste. The way that I'm trying them first is with no salt, no pepper, no anything. So the next one I'm going to try is the German Johnson. And here's what that one looks like up close. The German Johnson is more of a pink tomato, but the more ripe it becomes, the more red it turns. But it's still pretty much a pink tomato. That's not my favorite for no reason, y'all. It is so good. The next one is the Jerusalem. This is such a delicious tomato. Take a picture of it up close. The Jerusalem does not have as many seeds and as much pulp as a slicer tomato. Very good. Very, very good. And last but not least, we're going to try the Soldacki. And see what I mean? The Soldacki looks very similar to the German Johnson. I don't know how I'm going to decide, y'all. All of these tomatoes are so delicious, and they're all very similar in taste. So let's do the real test. Let's put it on some toast with some mayonnaise and some salt and pepper and see what we get with that. I was going to do salt and pepper separately on them and then on the sandwich, but I think I'm going to skip that part and just do it on the toast with mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and see what we get. Okay, now here we go with some salt. Might as well salt all of them because I'm going to eat all of them. A little bit of pepper. And now we'll put them on the toast. Okay, again, I'm going to go from left to right as if you were reading a book. So, first up is the vintage wine. That is so delicious. You can taste the smokiness of the tomato. You know, the vintage wine has little stripes of the dark green in it that gives it like a smoky flavor, but you can also taste some sweetness in that tomato. It is so delicious. Next up is the German Johnson. It's my favorite for a reason. It has that classic acidic taste of an heirloom red tomato, but it also has sweet undertones. So delicious, so delicious. Next is the Jerusalem, the little paste tomato. That is such a good tomato. That has a little more sweetness to it than the other two tomatoes do. It's not real acidic. So delicious though. And last but not least, the Soldacki. Oh my gosh. Seriously, y'all. The Soldacki is so similar in taste to the German Johnson. If somebody had given me a taste of these side by side, I don't know that I would be able to tell the difference. They are both delicious. They both have that classic tomato flavor with some sweet undertones. It is just so delicious. So if I had to rate these right now, I would have to say first place would be a tie between the German Johnson and the Soldacki, and then probably the Jerusalem, and then the vintage wine. And just one more quick edit, I promise. So just wanted to let you know so that you could be watching for it. There is definitely going to be a taste off between the German Johnson and the Soldacki, because we cannot have two tomatoes in first place. So be watching for that. I'm going to wait until I get two huge, beautiful, ripe ones, and then I'm going to do a taste off. And we'll see. Maybe if I have somebody to help me, I can do it in a way that I won't know which is which, so that my mind won't be influenced one way or the other. So anyway, y'all be watching for that. They are all delicious though. You cannot go wrong with all of these tomatoes. They're delicious no matter how you use them, whether you use them in salsa, pasta sauce, eating them on a tomato sandwich, pasta salad. They are so delicious, you all. So I hope you've enjoyed the taste test, and I hope you try some of these tomatoes. You all have a great day. God bless you.